Hello and welcome to another episode of the podcast series. We are here at VUB in F9 BFOT in the student room where the students come and study. Today we blocked them from studying to record this podcast, and I have three very nice people from our masters, both at BFOT and at Ghent, joining me today, and we're gonna have a conversation about Belgium, how their experience has been so far, and what they were thinking before choosing to come to Belgium or being in Belgium. Right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is go around the table and introduce ourselves. So I'm gonna start with myself. I'm Arash, a PhD here at BFOT. I did the master's several years ago, and then decided to continue with a PhD in the same group. And next to you.
I'm Anusha. I'm a Master 1 student in BFOT, and I'm from Pakistan.
Super. And so you study at BFOT, and then what was your background?
I had a bachelor's in electrical engineering.
All right, super. How about you?
I'm Parto. I'm a second year master's student. I did my bachelor in physics in Tehran. I'm Iranian. I'm in my last semester of master's here.
Super. And how about you?
I'm Jorik. I'm Belgian. I started my master's in Photonics Engineering at the Ghent last year, jumping off of a bachelor's in applied physics engineering also at the Ghent.
Super. And do any of you guys have a scholarship? And if you have, what type of scholarship is it? And so.
I have a full scholarship.
All right.
It covers my living here and also my education.
And how much is it worth?
It's 10,000 euros per year.
All right. Super. So it's the, let's say, VUB scholarship for this program. All right, super. And you guys are self-funded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, super. All right, so now that we know each other a bit and our audience as well, let's start with the questions. So for all of you guys, you come from different countries, and when you were deciding where I should, let's say, start my master's, you had a lot of choices. You could do it in the US, you could do it in Asia, you could do it anywhere literally, and you chose to come to Belgium. So the question is, was Belgium for you a factor in considering this program, or was it just like a matter of convenience, or having relatives here, or what was your reason for this choice?
For me, I wanted to go to Europe for my master's, especially because of the culture. I felt like I can relate more to the European culture rather than in America. So I applied for photonics programs in Europe, and I got admitted to this program. I also had another offer from Aube School of Photonics, actually I chose Belgium because, I chose this program because it's in Brussels, especially, and I'm sort of like, I prefer big cities to live in. And that was the other program was in a small city in Germany, and I felt like I will have a better studying experience if I'm in this kind of environment.
Super. How about you?
You may not be surprised that for me it was more of a matter of convenience.
Yeah.
Because Belgium has a very good university. I don't need to worry that much about a scholarship because the universities are more affordable here as well. So it's possible to do it self-funded, thanks to my parents, of course. I'm very grateful to them. But I did choose for it because there is a more of an international aspect to the whole thing. I mean, the engineering degrees in Belgium, especially in Ghent, I'm not sure if it's the case in Brussels, are all in English anyways. But the only master's degree that actually has a large amount of international students in Ghent is the photonics one. The other masters are in English, but maybe one or two international students. And that did interest me. So that's why I eventually went for the photonics course.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did.
Yeah. Nice. And it's usually the case that I hear in the photonics program we have so many international students, and the Belgian ones, we want to get in. Yeah, so we go to the other side. How about you, Anusha?
So honestly, I wasn't looking for the cities or the countries specifically. I was looking for the different programs. But one reason I chose VUB was because it was in Brussels and it was an international city. The other option I had was the Erasmus scholarship, but for that I had to move to 4 different countries.
Yep.
So I thought that maybe it would hinder my studies a lot. So I decided to settle here.
Yeah. And was it anything special about Belgium itself that appealed to you, or was it like, as you say, the general international atmosphere that Brussels or Ghent might have?
Before coming here.
Yeah, like when you were making the choice.
Well, to be honest, before coming to Belgium, I didn't have much information about the country. The only things I knew was the chocolate
Same.
and like Poirot from Agatha Christie books. But when I was applying for this program, I looked into the country and the culture more online in Google, and I realized that it has a very large and diverse community of people, and it's very international. So of course that was a factor that played a role in my choice.
Also, like in Europe, there is a we have this problem usually that we don't speak the native languages.
Yeah.
So it's important to be in a place where you will be able to find multilingual people.
All right. Yeah.
So that
the
was
international
so
part.
Brussels really give that option to us,
Yeah.
because you find a lot of people who speak your language
Yeah.
or English at least.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, although I feel like, in order to better integrate into the culture and community, you really need to learn the language. But for studying or in the academic environment, English is quite sufficient enough. So.
Yep. So we're gonna delve into more details in a bit later, but let's go to another topic of you said that your information about Belgium was a bit limited before coming here. But then if you think about culture, history, food culture, language, music, geography, these kind of topics about a country. So about Belgium, what was your idea before coming here? And for you, maybe you can give us a top 3 things that you like in these topics.
The top 3 things in terms of,
the whole culture and everything.
I mean, I quite like to stay in Belgium for the reasons that, the education is quite good here. I mean, Ghent is a very good university. And also my family lives here, things like that. But also in terms of, when it comes to European countries, I don't really have a preference of another country towards Belgium. I mean, it wouldn't really make much of a difference to me. I've been all around Europe as well. And then if I'm going to stay in Europe, might as well go to Belgium. Countries that really interest me as places to go to aren't really countries that end up, that may be ideal or have the best universities to go out studying. I really like Asia. I really like those parts, but I'm not sure. I mean, going to study in Japan probably seems like you have no work-life balance because and then, which is why I decided, if it's going to be Europe, then, Belgium might as well be okay. For the rest, food here is okay, but it's not really, it's not compared, not good. Asian food is still better.
All right.
But I have my family here, I have friends here, I'm comfortable here.
Music, history, anything that interests you about Belgium?
No, I'm not a history buff. I mean, it's convenience. It's not the country. I mean, Belgian people generally don't have a very strong sense of culture, anyways, right? I mean, it's just it's a nice place. It's comfortable, but do I stay here because I love Belgium. Well, I mean, Belgium has nothing wrong with Belgium. I'm not really passionate about the country.
I feel like you're being like too humble about your nationality.
Or
Belgium
so typical
is
for
better.
him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for me actually, when I came here, I realized that it actually has a rich culture, especially like arts and music. That those two, I mean, music is part of arts, but like the music scene is quite big in Belgium. There are a lot of electronic bands that are like well renowned worldwide, and especially like I know about Brussels. I don't know about other cities, but in Brussels there's a vibrant nightlife going on, a lot of different bars, clubs, and yeah. So that's something that really appeals to me, and I like that about Brussels. Yeah. And the food, I haven't really tried all the famous Belgian dishes, but
There aren't that
fries.
many famous Belgian dishes.
No, there are. I mean, I've tried mussels, which was quite good, but fries. The Belgian fries, it's something that, I mean, I always loved fries, but when I came here, I realized that it's actually a need. So, like, it's amazing that you can find the friture anywhere,
At every
anytime,
corner, yeah.
and you can have fries. And yeah, that's
For
something.
breakfast, you can have fries.
I
haven't
guess
tried.
you can do that.
You should be able to. It's
Should
Belgium.
you do it?
I
You
don't
can
think
do
so,
it,
yeah.
but should you? I don't know.
How about you, Anush?
So the chocolates here are really nice. They were up to the expectations.
Yeah.
And
So you already knew about it.
yeah.
You said, okay. You
So
thought
I
so.
knew about 3 things.
Yeah.
I knew about chocolates. I knew about diamonds, which I cannot afford. So that was of no use. And the third thing was that, so I have a bit of interest in the history. So if you go about the history of World War I and II, both of them, kind of, Belgium was the center of them.
Yeah.
So I was excited for that, but I haven't been able to explore the places enough right now.
Yeah. So
Maybe
you
because of the
haven't
workload, but
Yeah.
it's fine. Hopefully
Yeah.
soon.
So you haven't been to the Waterloo region?
No, not
okay.
yet.
All right.
So hopefully soon.
Day trip.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But the food, it's. So I'm from Pakistan, so we have very different palate.
Yeah.
We have spices, a lot of spices on our food.
True. Yeah.
So yeah, for me the food is not so good.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
A little, I struggle with that part. Sorry.
I mean, I totally agree. I prefer.
So the Asian food is quite rich
Ah,
in
yeah,
taste.
Yeah.
I
True
prefer
that.
Asian food as well.
Yeah.
Although I can appreciate Belgian food. I did forget the beer here is also very good, which is also
Yeah.
a very good point of
True.
contact.
Yeah, the variety of beers that they have, it's impressive.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's something that brings us to culture shock. Like the thing you said, like coming from a different culture in West Asia to Belgium all of a sudden, and then did you guys experience any, let's say, cultural shock when you arrived here in the first few months? Maybe not for you because.
Well, I mean, I did move back to Belgium after living in Thailand for a long time, so there was
Okay.
a difference.
But you were born in Thailand, or
I was
born
born
in Belgium, then
in
taken to-
Belgium, and
Okay.
I think I spent like half a year in Belgium before I left out
All right.
to Thailand or something. So I did experience a change, but I think at that point I was far more used to what was going on.
Yeah.
But I was more, I mean, I moved back for a short while when I was younger, in first years of secondary, and that was a culture shock because
Yeah.
coming from a large international school with a large range of people and a very different way of talking and viewing perspectives on life and stuff like that, going to
Yeah.
a small local school in Ostende
Yeah.
was a bit of a change. But yeah,
Yeah.
in terms of culture shock, it's not necessarily culture shock as just different people in your environment.
Yeah, so you adapted quickly.
Yeah, I suppose I did.
Yeah. All right.
For me, I don't remember any shock
Mm.
exactly. But of course, it's a new environment, and in the beginning, you need time to adjust, and that's the same with any kind of change, like big change that you make in your life.
Yeah. So nothing stood out for you in the beginning, like okay, coming from our country, Iran, to Belgium, like the changes that you saw around you, it wasn't like too shocking for you because you might have already known some stuff about it.
Yeah, I think it wasn't like too big, like the changes were not that big to cause any problems for me. Of course, like using English in your everyday life, it was something new because although like my English was all right before coming here, but I wasn't using it every day on a daily basis. So that was something new, but other than that, I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
So
because for me personally, when I came to Belgium, like the first few weeks that I was here, we had some activities with the PHOT student chapter. Well, then it was like a SPA student chapter. And so we had a collection of international people, and that's something maybe very special about Belgium in general, or maybe more about Brussels. That okay, we had different internationalities there, and then we were coming from a very, let's say, touchy-feely, close-together culture. And then, when you enter a group of people, you say hi to everybody, and then you might hug a couple of people. And then having people who come into the group, talk to two people, and then leave without saying goodbye was a big culture shock for me. I was like,
in that sense,
what's wrong with that guy? Yeah.
Yeah, that happens, and it's not just about Belgian people.
Well, I think
I
it's
feel
more
like
Flemish people.
maybe, but I've seen the same thing from like a German guy as well.
Yeah,
So
it's just
I feel like
different
it's
from our
just-
nationality. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not very like. I mean, they're very kind people, welcoming and
exactly.
everything, but
It's a part
their
of their
way
culture.
of communicating
Yeah.
or
It's different.
expressing.
Yeah, it's more efficient, I would say. Like, I mean, for us, it takes like half an hour to say hi to everybody, and then half an hour to say
bye.
goodbye.
Yeah.
So it's not efficient. Like, if you go to the people you're interested in, you talk to them, and then you leave. Okay, efficient.
Yeah.
20
Too
minutes.
cool, I think.
Done.
Yeah,
I'm
and
guilty.
also.
See? Yeah,
And
but it's
also
a
like
different
their
subculture. Yeah.
friendships, like the way that they act in their friendships is also different than the way
Sure.
that like we do it in our culture.
Yeah.
That's something I realized as well. But I mean, once you know it,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
get bothered by
It's easy to
this
get
is part of
adapted
their
to.
culture. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Can you give an example?
I don't know, the thing is, like in our culture, in Iranians' culture, like being someone's friend, it's just it takes a lot of presence in that person's life. Like
yeah.
like you have to ask that person like once in a while how you're doing and caring, showing that you're caring, but it doesn't really exist. I feel like. I mean. I don't know, but that's
I
been
feel
my
you.
experience.
I feel you, yeah. And how about you, Anusha?
The biggest culture shock for me was when I wanted ice cream at 9 and all the shops were closed.
Right?
I didn't realize for the longest, like, it was very hard for me to adapt to this because
Yeah.
in my country we could have anything even at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Exactly, yeah.
So here, and the only McDonald's which was open at that point was, I don't know, 1.5 hours away. So I was like, I cannot go there.
yeah.
So yeah, the
Yeah.
timings of the shops,
Yeah,
bad.
of course.
Close at
Very
8.
different.
Close.
But actually, it's in the beginning I was also like a bit surprised that the shops close early, but
Yeah.
that's a good thing because you see that they also have a life. The people who are working there, they can
True.
enjoy life.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the work-life balance in Europe
That's
in
good,
general.
yeah.
That's really
But
one
they
of the
could-
reasons.
Yeah, they could hire 2 sets of people, one for the
Exactly.
mornings, one for the afternoon, and they keep it open until 12
Yeah,
a.m.
like the students can
That's
work.
right.
I mean, there
Yeah.
is
More
this
expensive
night
though.
shops, but until 12, I think.
Yeah, but it's
But
far more
and
expensive.
very
Yeah.
expensive, into 3 times.
And then it's not all shops, right? It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
grocery shops.
And there's no 24/7 pharmacy.
No, there's always a pharmacy. There's always in your area. There's always going to be one pharmacy open. It's the pharmacy Van Wacht, I guess. And then you can find it online which one is open. So there's always going to be one open 24 hours.
That's
but
new
it's just not
information.
so essentially they switch over, I think. And there's always, because you need, sometimes you really need a pharmacy and it's emergency. So there's always one Van Wacht.
Okay, good to know.
Makes sense, yeah.
Did you know?
I had no idea.
In the initial days, it was very difficult for me because I used to go to my room around 6 from here and then often fall asleep. And then I used to wake up around 9 and I had nothing to eat because everything was closed.
Yeah, sure.
So I was stuck. Then I had to change my
You always
habits.
go to a frituur.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, to the center.
Or you can plan your days like, okay.
Better.
Yeah, like, today I have to cook for Thursday because then I have these in my plan. Difficult,
Yeah.
I know.
Do your groceries before you go home. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Saves you a trip.
But now you guys have been here for like several durations. For you, it's almost I think 1.5 years. So.
Almost 6 years.
But yeah, like before coming here, you didn't know much, and then slowly you explored different things. And maybe you can, like, I don't know, each of you give me a fun fact that you learned about Belgium, like specific things, like, not about beer and so on, like specific that was very interesting for you. Like, I'm going to give you an example, maybe meanwhile you can think about it, yeah. So I didn't know that here in Belgium, a long time ago, a group of, I think, priests or something, came to Belgium and then they settled down here, but to actually somehow make the ends meet, they had to make beer. And then that beer is, I think, now called Trappist. That's the brand that the monks or the priests they were making, and still that brand is going on.
Trappist is not a brand, but it's a type of beer.
Yeah.
It is a beer that is made by monks in an abbey. So for a beer to be a Trappist, it has to adhere to certain conditions, that it's actually made by monks, that it's not made for profit, that stuff like that.
It's not made for profit?
I think officially no. If it's made for profit, it's no longer a Trappist. Officially. Okay. So
super. And so it's a type of beer, and then different brands can have that type of beer.
Well, you have to have an abbey, and you have to have monks brewing the beer. And if you can do that and say, okay, this is a Trappist, then you can market it and sell it as a Trappist. But it's not necessarily... I mean, I know Trappists are usually blonde beers, but I don't think it really matters the type of brewing is done. I think it's more the environment around the brewing.
So that was very interesting for me. Like, I didn't know that. And then in one of the activities, one of the professors were like, okay, did you know the backstory about this beer that you're drinking? I was like, no, it's good beer. So they told me this story that probably I didn't research well enough.
That's okay.
But yeah, so any fun facts that you might know?
Told a similar story also about beers, where the popularity of Trappists and monks brewing beer was also because beer was a safer alternative for getting hydrated than water, because water could be contaminated, but the brewing process of beer also, in a way sterilized that slightly. I'm not sure how true it is. That was what I heard, and that the church told people to drink beer instead of water. Because you wouldn't get sick from beer, but you could get sick from
now on. I'm gonna use that.
That's a good excuse.
Do you want to tell us a fun fact?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's fun or not, but apparently Belgians are the second, the top second fans of anime and manga in the world.
Oh.
After Japanese people.
Nice.
The Belgians and France together, I think they're quite a fan of.
They have a lot of comic books too,
Yeah.
right? Like a lot of comic strips, a lot of people who are making them.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
Yeah, I actually bought my first French book. It's a comic book, Blake and Mortimer.
Uh-huh.
I think you remember that on our TV in Iran, there was this cartoon, like they had the cartoon of it on our TV, and I had no idea that's Belgian.
Many things were Belgian and I didn't know.
Yeah, true.
I think I'm too new here for the fun fact. I haven't came across any yet.
Yeah. One of the other things that I heard was that the singer Stromae, Stromae, he was born here in Ixelles, and for a long while, I don't know if it's still the case, but for a long while he was from this neighborhood close to our campus. So
a lot of artists are from Belgium, actually. Like Jacques Brel.
He's also Belgian.
Yeah.
Super famous bands and so on, like from Belgium, but super humble. We don't know they were Belgian. Yeah,
it was actually.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think I remembered. I'm not sure if I understood it right, but in one of the light night last semester in Ghent, the professor said apparently Schrödinger used to teach at Ghent.
Yeah.
That was really impressive for
That's
me.
true.
All right.
Yeah, that's the fun fact.
That's true.
But at that time, Ghent was very, very centralized for a lot of very famous physicians.
I was really impressed. I was like, I'm in the right place.
Super.
So not that new.
Yeah. All right. See, you know
There's
something.
also a picture that like from all the Einstein, all the famous physicists. There's a famous picture, like all of them are in the picture. It's in Belgium. It's like in front of the Solvay Hotel, I think.
Yeah.
On the stairs. Yeah.
Super. Right. So you guys mentioned a bit about the languages, and then the fact that you are in a English speaking program. But then we wanna discuss here a bit about the language aspect of Belgium. So personally, I didn't know that Belgium has 3 official languages, and depending on the region, like for this country, like the north part speaks Dutch, the south part speaks French, some parts they speak German, very small. Has this, especially for you guys, been an issue, or maybe even for you when you move in the country, like to the other sides? Has this been an issue to speak to people, to communicate, especially out of academia?
Sometimes yes, especially at the supermarkets. It's hard to find people who I can actually ask, where is this stuff? I have to show the pictures. But one good thing is I've always found people around me who actually come to rescue. Like they hear that I'm struggling with the person in the supermarket, so they come and ask, what's your problem? What do you want to purchase? And then they translate it to the person, and then the person finds it. So that's a good thing. But I've struggled. Sometimes hard to find people.
So you don't speak any of the 3 languages?
No, not yet.
Sure. All right.
Hopefully soon.
But you're joining any classes?
No.
No, all right.
Duolingo.
Of course, me too. How about you?
Yeah, for me, I haven't had any serious problems with it. I started learning French before coming to Belgium, but I just took a 3-month course before coming to Belgium, and then I took the classes from Civio. They're on campus actually, and I did 2 semesters here. But I can't say that I know French. I'm far from that, but I can use that in supermarket and.
So you've been attempting to speak to people in French, and
I've attempted to do so, but I don't know how successful I've been. But I like learning languages in general, so my plan is to learn French to like an intermediate level and then start Dutch. That is the plan. But it's not very easy to mix it with the studies, so hopefully after graduation.
Yeah. I personally find it very difficult that, in Belgium, like now we're in a Flemish university, so it's Dutch speaking. If you start learning Dutch, maybe, I don't know, 2-3 years later, you're gonna have to work in Wallonia, and then everybody around you would be speaking French. Or if you want to travel to the Wallonian part, then they're French speaking. And yeah, there were times that I've been in shops or I've been in even academic settings and I needed technicians' help, and then they were only speaking in a certain language, more in the Wallonian side. Then they couldn't speak in English, and I was stuck. So that was a bummer. How about you? Like,
well, I mean, I don't put as much effort into languages as I should. Maybe my French is really, really bad. But usually I get around. I have enough French to communicate basic things, and English gets you around where Dutch wouldn't. But what is interesting though is that the knowledge of English is very different in what region of Belgium you are as well. In Flemish areas, especially the big cities in the Flemish areas, you'll generally not have any problem speaking English. I think Brussels is far more difficult if you only have English than Ghent would be. It depends on where you are.
So you have different languages as functional as you want, so you don't worry about these kind of things.
The minimum amount they need to keep intact. So my French isn't very great, but I think your French might be better than mine.
I don't know, but something that it was actually shocking to me was the pamphlet in medicine boxes. They don't have English.
Yeah.
They have the 3 official languages, but they don't have English. And I always check for side effects and stuff like that, so I couldn't. I just hope for the best.
And you can't trust Google Translate
because it's so small, and when you use Google Translate, it just gets messy.
Google Translate can tell you a completely different thing than what they meant. I mean, it's an automatic translation system.
Well, I mean, it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, it's close enough, but
it's gotten, especially between common languages and the writings are different. It's actually pretty good. I think.
Still, for medical stuff, do you trust it?
No, it's Deep L, something like that.
Yeah.
That's the better translator.
Okay.
Yeah, but that doesn't have like this,
the
camera.
The camera where you just take a picture of something.
Point it at anything you want.
Yeah. I was using that feature of Google Translate in the supermarket in the beginning because everything is in French. So
everything you want to buy.
Exactly.
First.
What is this?
and they have like what do you call it? Sweet pickles. That was a new thing for me, and I was like, oh God, why? Why?
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. And even the ones that it says it's not sweet, it's not how it should be.
Yeah. Still. Different food cultures, different palates. But you're talking about languages and these kind of, let's call them barriers. Has it affected you guys, coming back to Belgium after a long time being away, or for you guys, coming to Belgium for the first time? Has it affected your friendships outside your, let's say, academic setting? Like, you have, let's say, roommates or housemates, and then you have people in the public that you meet, you might want to make friends or go on dates with, and so on. Has that language barrier ever made any difficulties?
Definitely. Yes, I would say actually, like, not knowing French in Brussels, it really limits your the circle of people you can interact with, especially because like people are more comfortable in their own mother tongue, so they have to make an effort speaking English, and Francophone people, they don't speak very well English compared to the Flemish people. So that has been definitely a barrier. And also even with Flemish people on campus, I feel like, you have to be in the communities that are open to international people. Because like there are a lot of sort of fraternity groups in VUB, and it's quite common in Belgium, and most of them are only Dutch speaking, so it's not very easy to get into those circles. But there was this group, and I joined last year. It was the first few months that I was here. It's also a kind of student group about arts, and that one is quite international. So I made a couple of friends there, and that has been nice.
How about you?
Well, I mean, I speak the language.
No language barrier from the beginning, because you already know it.
No, I mean, even when I lived in Thailand, I mean, I had Dutch classes separately to make sure I kept speaking the language. Otherwise, I would not have kept speaking Dutch probably. It's generally not a problem.
It has been a problem. Because are you restricted to only international communities, as Parto mentioned? And like currently I have all international friends. They're not from Belgium. So we all teach each other the languages or communicate in English, but no local friends, because even the class doesn't have a lot of local people, just 2-3 people. So and it's easier for us since we stay on campus. But the language restricts you to communities.
To talk about the circles you can find within national people.
But there are a lot of Belgian people, especially Flemish people, who actually like to be involved in international circles, like Jorik, for example. I mean, he chose this programs because it's international.
Exactly.
And another friend of mine that I met in that group, that's arts group, she's also enrolled in an international programs. So I find that more often among Flemish people than French people, like French-speaking people.
They're more welcoming to the international people. All right. And then talking about people, is it easy to meet people here? Like, I mean, you're talking about different communities that you personally went and found them, and then you wanted to be a part of them, and then as a result, you saw some other people out of your, let's say, academic circle, your classmates, and the PhDs and people in your department. But in general, is it easy to meet people out of these settings? To find friends out of these settings?
More or less.
Like people are welcoming here, that is true. But I don't know, maybe it is because the timings of the classes and stuff. At least I felt that I was mostly restricted to to interacting with people within the program or within like the first master, second master. And it's the most natural too. But I think you're more restricted to the program.
I think it depends on your circle of friends. I met a lot of people through one of my friends who's also Iranian, and she's been here for 3 years already. So through her I met a lot of people in parties, and so that was something that kind of made it easier. But otherwise, I don't think it's quite easy to meet people, especially if you're in your masters, because a lot of people like make friends when they're in their bachelor and from their class, and they stick with their own circle. So it might not be very easy to enter their circle of friends.
And for you it came natural because you spoke the language and you started a bachelor at Ghent and then continued, right?
Yes. Although, to be honest, I never really interacted with many people for my bachelor's, because my bachelor's I never went to my classes. So
always
most
partying.
of my friends were always outside of the circles. My bachelor was not great. I'm proud of that one. So I mean, then most of my social connections came via family, I suppose, friends through that, or friends through people that I met when I was in school for a short time here. So it's But I think I do hear, I'm not sure if it's the same case in Brussels, but I do hear from international students in Ghent that they find it difficult to interact with local people because Belgian people can be difficult to open up at first glance. I mean, we can be very nice, but it takes some time to get through. And I think that's true. And I
Hard
think
to
that
get.
we play hard to get. We play hard to get. And I think there's truth to that. I think that might also make things slightly more difficult, I suppose.
Yeah. And yeah, so some of the things that I've seen during the past few years, I mean, COVID didn't help, but there are communities like the Erasmus community on each university. Like, it doesn't matter where in Europe you are. So they have Erasmus groups, and then they have gatherings, and they have like I don't know, outings that they go to hikes and they go to city trips and so on. So those might help people as well. Yeah, if anybody's interested in the audience. But also, at some point you were not in Belgium, and then you might have been interested in seeing like, okay, when I'm there, where should I shop? Where should I don't know, buy supplies for I don't know, medical problems that I might have, and so on. Like any topic that you might think of as a person who is going into a new country. So did you have access to people, individuals, I mean, or like communities, groups, online groups beforehand? Before coming to Belgium, that you could ask your questions from?
Yes. Well, when I wanted to apply, I was actually looking through their social media of this program, and that's how I got in touch with you, actually. And I asked a lot of questions beforehand about like how the life would be in Brussels, and because I had to make a choice between Ghent and Brussels, so I did quite a lot of research beforehand, even
Not
like
my fault, she chose herself.
No, but it was really helpful talking to you and Sarah about little details. Like I remember I even asked about the supermarkets and like how close they are. Yeah, stuff like that. And other than that, there were some Telegram groups. That was for Iranians because we always have some difficulties for our visa applications and stuff like that, and it helped me a lot in the process. And when I arrived here, I got to know a couple of Facebook groups. For example, one of them is the name is something like Ask Anything, and you can ask basically anything in that group, and people answer. Like once, like the wheel of my luggage was broken, I asked where I can repair it, and someone answered, and so, those kind of things exist. Yeah.
Super. And how about you, Anusha?
I was just lucky. I didn't do a lot of research. I did bug you a lot, but those were mostly academic questions. With the daily life questions, maybe it was the first time I was coming and like would have been staying alone. Yeah. So I didn't realize what questions should I ask. Yeah. But one of my classmates took me to Colruyt, which is the go-to place for your daily groceries. Yeah. On my first day here.
You're not paid by Colruyt.
Yeah, we're not, but it's a lifesaver. So yeah, she took me there on my first day. So that was very nice of her. And then I met some people in the laundry who suggested that if I want to buy clothes, I should go to this and this store. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
So you learned along the way.
Yeah, I learned along the way. And I was lucky to find angels. So.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit about culture, a bit more, about your surroundings in Ghent and in Brussels. So how is the nightlife and how is the infrastructure, the public transport? How do you get around? How do you find the shops? Is it easy to access them? I don't know, how's the nightlife Have you been going out, like partying? How is it in general?
So for the public transport, I will say it's really good, especially coming from a place which lacks the public transport. So this was a really good change here. The trams and buses are very accessible, and if you're under 26, it's super cheap. So you get a 12 euro per year subscription, so that is really good. And the Google Maps will tell you all the routes of all the trains and trams, and they have also their own application which you can help. So it has been really, really easy to go around the city.
Yeah, about the public transport, I agree, especially in Brussels, because the lane in other parts of, like in Flanders, that's not as reliable as the transportation inside Brussels. But yeah, I feel like you can get anywhere with public transport without needing to have a bike or anything, because I'm not very confident in my biking skills, so I only use public transport. And yeah, also if you're above 26, you can get, like, through your insurance, you can get a discounted version of the Mobib card,
This is
which is 85 euros per year. So it's still affordable. But about your other questions, I personally really like the nightlife of Brussels. There's always something going on in the city, especially in the weekends. You can always find like an event, or there's all the clubs in Brussels have some nice DJ sets, and there's quite a lot of options you can choose from. And
I quite like the nightlife as well. And Ghent, it's very good. Not necessarily talking about Overpoort. It's a bit crowded there. It's a bit too much. But other parts in Ghent have very nice nightlife. There are very nice clubs, very nice bars. Depends on what you're looking for. You can usually find it. So I quite like that aspect. In terms of public transport, well, that's the reason why I prefer Ghent over Brussels, is I don't need public transport because the bike infrastructure is so good. So I can get anywhere with the bike. I don't have to deal with timings of buses and trams and metros. I could just jump on my bike, and it's usually faster to use it that way. That's why I prefer Ghent over Brussels in that case, because even if you bike here, it's so incredibly hilly. It's there's not much infrastructure for bikes. It's not that fun to bike around.
It's dangerous too, because not every street has, let's say, a lane dedicated to biking people.
Indeed. So that's the one part I really enjoy a lot about it, especially coming from a very big city like Bangkok, where that was definitely not possible.
Super. And about like other stuff like infrastructures, how the city layout is, maybe festivals, everything about the culture. Like I don't know if you've been on beer or chocolate tours around in Belgium.
I've really had a lot of my love for music and concerts from Belgium, because we have very good music festivals in the summer here. So I've had many years of going to, different festivals, a lot to name. But that way I got to see a lot of bands that I love in the flesh live. It's I think in terms of festivals and the music scene in Belgium, it's actually incredibly good. But only really music festivals. Some arts festivals, but otherwise,
Anything else to add?
Other than music, well, there are a lot of art galleries. I recently went to Magritte Museum, which was very impressive. I haven't seen other museums yet. Hopefully, like whenever I get a chance in this semester. But infrastructure, like you mean in different parts of the city, I feel like, in Brussels, I always feel like everything is quite accessible, and I've never had any problems like with medical facilities or anything. like going to the doctor is really relatively easy. There's this website, Doctors Anytime. You can book an appointment online. That's how I usually find doctors, and the insurance is quite good. I mean, it's ridiculously cheap compared to Iran, for example. Like a couple of my friends, they're in America, they're studying there, and from what I hear, it's just, they come to Iran for their medical expenses. But here,
the tickets are cheaper than what they have to pay. How about you? Like, anything to add? Like, I don't think you had time to go on a beer tour.
Oh no, I just went to the chocolate factory once.
All right. Okay.
That was nice.
Yeah.
It talked about all the history of the cocoa and stuff, and then there was a unlimited supply of chocolate, free.
Dangerous.
Yeah, I didn't want to come out, so that was nice. Plus, I really like the city center. Although I've been there now many times, but it's always nice to walk around because there are a lot of people from different regions, cultures. And always something is going on, so it's nice to be there. Yeah.
Super. And maybe each one of you can give me your favorite Belgian food, because we're talking about chocolate, we're talking about fries, but nothing about Belgian cuisine. Yeah, any favorites? Have you tried
I
stuff
haven't tried
other than
all of
mussels?
them.
Yeah.
But I went to a restaurant a couple of months ago. It was, I forgot the name of this stupid, like, sausage. It was a sausage on top of mashed potato.
Just
sausage and potato.
It's called. Was it also with applesauce?
I don't know. Stump?
Yes. Well, the stump is more like a lot of different stuff in mashed potatoes. It's all like, it was all mixed up together, like a because you can also have like mashed potatoes with vegetables and the pieces of sausage all mixed together in one sort of.
No, it was like sausage on top of mashed potatoes.
It's just,
it was really delicious. And also mussels. It was, mussels, it's quite Belgian. So I really like that.
I mean, one of the things that I found very different from my country when I came here was that you guys have a lot of different types of sausages. God, like, I mean, I didn't know what to buy, and each one of them tastes very different from the other. And it took me a long time until I found a very good sausage.
What's your favorite sausage?
I don't know the name. It's just one of these. I say, well, of course, it's an Arabic type of sausage. I don't know what's inside.
In the end, you went.
I went to one of these, I think it was Fresh Med. I found these like, there's a cow and there's like writings in Arabic. Should be good. Let's try it. I gave up.
But the sausages that we have in Iran, apparently it's different from anywhere in the world. True. Like a friend of mine, like his favorite food is sausage, and he lives in New Zealand, and they have a serious problem finding sausage that it's similar to the one that we have in Iran. I don't know what that is.
No idea. Whatever they put in there, I don't know if it's chicken beak or I don't know pork hooves. It's good. How about you? What's your favorite one?
My favorite food?
Yeah.
I really don't know. I mean, sometimes I'll like a good witloaf and aspe, which is chicon, I guess, with rolled in ham with a bechamel sauce on top, which you put in the oven. I quite like that.
I haven't tried it.
It's easy to make. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it tastes really good. It's how I learned to eat chicon, because it's a very bitter vegetable, and when you first try it, chicory. Chicory is still different because that's like the thing you put in. I guess it's technically the same plant, but yeah. Yeah,
that was something I recently found out about, that it exists. They use this vegetable and they do something to it, and in the end it's they use it as, instead of coffee beans, they brew it.
All right.
It actually tastes similar to coffee.
Yeah, but I don't like chicory.
I don't like it either. And it doesn't have caffeine, so what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, the there's also qigong, which is like the leaves that you get from that plant, which are then grown in the dark, so they're white, and then you have that. If they're grown in the dark, they're slightly sweeter, they're not as bitter, and then you can. And then, I mean, if you're used to the taste, they're very good. But it took me some time growing up to.
Get accustomed.
them. They're a bit bitter, especially if you don't prepare them right.
Also, Brussels sprout.
I prepare them.
Brussels sprout is also
Yes. It's also a bit bitter unless you prepare them right, and then they can taste very sweet and very good. Although I don't. Yeah, Brussels sprout is mostly something I don't make very often. It's too much work.
How about you, Anusha?
No.
You haven't tried any Belgian cuisine?
No, I haven't come across any I like. So.
So you've tried them, you don't like them?
Yeah, you can say that. But like not a lot of them. It is
But
very limited.
Where did you try them? Because if you try them in the resto here.
No, the restaurant is... I'm not counting the restaurant. One of the friends made me try something. I don't remember exactly the name.
Mm-hmm.
But I still need to find good food.
But she's right, like, I mean, the idea of eating snails for me was very far-fetched. I was like, no, I'm never going to try it.
Yeah.
But then I was like in a small French town a while ago, and then their specialty cuisine was these like really nice pots of snails, and they made it to perfection. So I was like, okay, I like snails now.
That's good.
It was very good in the cheese sauce. Super. All right, so let's move on from the culture part. So we talked a lot about the different aspects of being in Belgium and its people and its culture and so on. But now let's go to the universities that we are a part of, and let's talk about the integration of you into the Belgian community, and then what does the university do to help that? Like, do you have any type of like encouragement or any programs, courses that helps you get integrated with the Belgian culture?
They have
and so on?
Marjorie.
She's the biggest effect there, huh?
She makes the transition the easiest.
Yeah. Super.
So especially like for me, initially I had some visa problems. It was getting difficult to come here, and I was panicking. And she was like, "Don't worry." She even helped me transition into the classes, and she's always available to talk whenever you have any questions regarding anything. So
connect you to people that might know the answers.
She always either she knows the answers or she knows the people who will know the answers. She's a blessing.
Marjorie and Pauline, they help a lot with
from the International Relations Office.
And the whole, like, everyone in International Relation Office, they're quite helpful.
Before coming here, they were already helping you.
Yes, exactly. Because I had some issues with my visa. And they were constantly in touch with me, and they made it easier for me to, to pass that kind of difficult period.
To integrate your surrounding.
And also when I came here, in the program, the light night events were quite good. Like that was the first time I met Jorik and our other colleagues in Ghent. And I feel like that's a nice opportunity to make new friends, network, and
become a part of Belgium. And you were a part of it already, weren't you?
I was relatively integrated before I started the master's program. When I went to my bachelor's, I needed some time to integrate because then I still came out from Thailand. But now it essentially also wasn't very difficult because I already knew people here. I have family here. I know the language. Bachelor's, you're also bachelor's. I didn't go to my classes, so I didn't have that. But I don't really have much to say on that.
I mean, coming from a local point of view and looking at the international people who are joining these programs in Belgium, like, are there any, let's say, thought about, okay, let's help these people integrate, or is it just like, okay, these people are in this program, and then we make friends, and then if they have questions, they ask us.
Well,
it goes naturally.
I think actually that in Brussels there's a lot more effort put into helping international people integrate, and helping them out and showing them what to do and stuff like that. But then again, I think also Brussels is a more difficult place to quickly integrate into in comparison. While in Ghent, I'm not sure if as much is happening, but there's also always a very large international community present that's very easy to reach, separate from our program. So it's very easy to find. It's also far easier to find English-speaking student groups as well. I mean, you don't have to look towards the ones directly related to a course, but outside of that, you can find quite a lot of them. And then, I think there isn't as much of help going on in Ghent, but maybe you also don't need as much help in Ghent to try and find a community, I think. Although, I don't actively try and help people to integrate. I'm sure I'll be friends, and if somebody needs someone, I'll help out and show them around Ghent and stuff like that. But I mean, you can ask me.
I will say that like my classmates have been very helpful because they always know that we'll be struggling with the trains, for example.
So you mean like the people who were here before you?
The locals in my class. The locals in my class. So they have been really they always know that this is the point where we'll need help, and they start posting on our WhatsApp group that you need to register here for this and this. You need to go talk to this person for this, and some like things like that. And especially like this semester, some of us have our classes in Ghent. So even though before the semester started, they sent out all the links and all the student packages for different train tickets, so that we could have cheaper tickets for the semester.
Super kind.
My classmates have been really nice and helpful.
Super. Like,
and prompt.
I mean, local people are the people who know the most about this setting, this specific setting, so they can help a lot. But from the universities,
from BUB, like in BUB there are a lot of events and workshops to like in different topics, both when you want to like apply for a job after your graduation, or I don't know, about many things that like they have constant workshops and events,
tours and so on in the beginning of your
that too
program.
And also there's a kickoff event in the beginning of the academic year, so that's also a nice thing.
2 weeks of activities, I think.
1 week.
One?
No, but like the kickoff event is 1 day, but there are a lot of things going on campus. And there's also Brussels Brust in the beginning of the academic year, that all the universities in Brussels, like they go to a venue and like they party. And that was fun too.
Super. And how about you, Ghent? Like, do they have like a kickoff sort of activity in the beginning of the year?
There's the student kickoff, but I enjoyed going there my first years, but it's a very, 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 very crowded event. And I like going out, but I don't like very big crowds that much. And so if it's like, I kind of have a look at that and like, I'll go to a bar. So we have it, and of course I thought it was very interesting actually coming here, how they when I started my bachelor's here, I was surprised in how they essentially approached it to let us in and to invite us to the different events, like Withouck as a student unit associated with the course I was studying. And they come in before class to announce that there are 2 free kegs at their bar tonight. I remember we got a goodie bag, and in the goodie bag was like coupons with discounts and some snacks, and then like a beer. And
always a beer involved.
Always a beer involved. It was right from the start. You're here to drink beer.
Welcome to Belgium.
That's true. actually, I remember it like in the beginning of the academic year last year, it was still the pandemic, and the kickoff was online. And I remember there was this video from like the dean of the Faculty of Engineering, and in the end of his speech, he told everyone that don't forget that Belgium is the country of chocolate, beer, and fries. Enjoy. I was like, okay.
Counting on that.
Yeah.
Super. All right, and another interesting topic, I would say, for a lot of people nowadays is diversity. So in the program in Belgium in general, what do you think about the diversity? What do you think about the, let's say, freedom of expression, and in general, with your explanation, I want to get at the fact that, okay, are you feeling safe, valued? Can you express yourself the way you want to express yourself? And what do you think about other people around you? Maybe, you don't have much to express, but maybe there are people around you who might have issues or not. What do you think?
I can start.
Sure.
The first thing I noticed when I arrived in Belgium was like even from the airport, I saw people having different styles in their clothing, and I really liked that because it wasn't like everyone's wearing the same thing. So people were expressing themselves throughout their outfits, and that was my first impression. And for myself, it's been also quite easy to just be myself here, and that's a liberating feeling, I would say.
Yeah.
And the diversity aspect, especially in our program and especially at PHOT, I really like that we have a lot of women, both in the faculty members, and also we have women as students. So that has been really inspiring to me, and I hope we will see more in the next years and in other research groups as well.
You want to overtake us.
Maybe.
I think there's a bit of feminism in there as well.
Of course.
I really like that about the group, and I think it was one of the reasons I also chose, because my interview was taken by Dr. Ijadi, and then my scholarship interview was taken by Dr. Natalie. And it's very rare to find multiple women in an engineering program, especially leading the program. You don't find a lot of women faculty in the engineering program. In my engineering program in like back home, there was only one female professor, and then she also left for somewhere, so there was no female professor at all. So I was looking forward to a place where I would have female representation in the faculty also, and that was really nice for me. So it is a diverse group in terms of that.
And then how about you? Like, what do you think about these kind of things?
I mean, I enjoy the fact that there's a lot of diversity in there. I mean, I'm not the best candidate for speaking a lot on diversity in this group, I think, as the white Belgian guy. But I do enjoy the fact that I can interact with people from very, very different environments again, and it's a lot more interesting. You get a lot more interesting discussions out of it. And I can talk about different cultural backgrounds in terms of, the large variety is nice. It's nice to know these people. It's nice to interact with them. It's nice to have that broad range, to not only interact with people in your own subculture, and getting this narrowing perspective on what people are and stuff like that. I think it's important that there's a lot of diversity in here. I think it's perspective broadening, I suppose.
So if I want to sum it up, you're not only feeling that you're free to express ourselves, we are safe in expressing ourselves. But you're a bit focusing on the fact that it has a lot of fruitful, let's say, results coming out of it, and you're not worried about the repercussions, but rather what you can get out of it. It's like showing that okay, it's working, the diversity and the accepting behavior of Belgium, your universities and so on.
Can I add something?
Yeah, sure.
Another thing I really like about, well, I can only talk about BPhOT, I don't know in Ghent, but you feel like there are people who care about you and they're there to support you. And if you have any like feedbacks or anything, there are people that, well, they also ask for feedback, and also if you have a remark or something, you can express it. And yeah, that's a nice feeling, because you feel like you can be part of this group and help it, grow or like improve, and that's a nice feeling to be part of the community.
Yeah. That's how I usually welcome people into BPhOT. I say, welcome to BPhOT family, rather than a group. Like, we take care of each other, and I mean, it's a close group, although it's like, I don't know, with 70, 80 people now. It's a large group, but yeah, it's very important that there are people who care about your feelings, care about your careers, how you do in your exams, how you do in your actual like general life. Yeah, and same topic, because you are from Ghent. I know that Bert Coyne is taking care of these kind of things on the other side, and then you have other people who are probably involved.
Well, I quite like the photonics research group there, and also the student society they have. The events they organize are often quite fun. It's for that what I most like, and it's also is actually the research group and the people who are there. Now, especially with my thesis that I'm interacting with them a lot, they've all been incredibly helpful, always been incredibly kind. I've spent a lot of time processing, so I need to get help from a large group of different people in the end, and it's always been positive, which is nice. I live with two other people in research, PhD or engineer, and they have many complaints of the people they're working with and the dramas that occur. And when I talk to the researchers at the group in Ghent, and it seems far very, 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 very nice, and maybe even that such that a group of people that don't cause these kinds of dramas, or maybe there is there, but I also asked PhD students about this, and they were fairly positive. is maybe even is a good find, I think, and that's why I might also be staying in Belgium and stay for the PhD at the same group. We'll see.
That was a hint for your promoter, wasn't it? Forward it in LinkedIn. Right, that was a very good topic. So, yeah, maybe that could be our including question. Soon, in 1.5 years, you're going to graduate from your master's. What's next? Are you going to stay in Belgium afterwards?
That's an early question, I think. At least for me.
You haven't experienced much.
But like eventually, I want to settle back in my own country.
Right.
But yes, maybe for a PhD, I can consider this group, because as everyone mentioned, the people here are really nice, and one of the major concerns of a PhD candidate is always that the group should be supportive and the supervisors should be kind and not be like setting deadlines or work that is like inhumane or like not possibly done.
Yeah, push you to the limits.
Yeah. So maybe, we can see.
How about you, Parto?
I'll probably stay in Belgium for the next 5 years or so. That's my plan for now, but I want to apply for PhD positions, both in BPhOT and other parts of Belgium, and also maybe some other neighboring countries. But we'll have to see. My plans are not fixed yet, but I like the idea of staying in Belgium for some time, especially Brussels.
Super nice. One topic I guess we didn't cover much was, you'll be in Belgium, you were all thinking about getting PhDs here. That's like 4 years, maybe some internships. You already have some time to finish your masters. But I mean, living in Belgium doesn't mean that you can't really go abroad and go to other countries for a trip or for some research stay or something. That was a question. Like, how easy do you find it from Ghent, from Brussels, to go abroad, go even inside Belgium to other cities to maybe have a weekend break or weekend runaway? How easy do you find it?
I think Europe is a very good place for that because you can literally just pack a backpack, get on a train somewhere and start trekking around and see what happens. It's a place where there's always a place to find to sleep. You can always get from one place to another. And everywhere in Europe there's usually decent public transport. You can get around. I've done several Europe trips and then usually on my own, and you get like an Interrail pass where you can use the train for however much you like, and in that case it's a very good way to travel around. It's very low barrier. It's safe. You can find places to camp. I think in that case we're quite well suited.
Super.
Yeah, I agree. Especially Brussels is has a really good position. Like, it's quite close to Paris, Amsterdam, Aachen. I don't know. A lot of cities are quite close by, and I find it quite an important part of being in Brussels and Europe. I mean, that was initially one of the reasons I chose Europe. It's like,
easy
because
access.
Yeah, exactly, easy access, and you can experience a lot of cultures with 2 hours train ride.
Exactly.
I agree. Like, when I was packing for here, everyone was more excited about the fact that I can travel around than I'm pursuing a master's. Everyone was like, please go travel. I was like, yes, I will. Because as you said, Paris is like 2 hours away. Amsterdam is like very close, so it's very convenient.
Yeah. A lot of people go on exchange periods because of that fact. Like, I mean, they say, okay, we are in Belgium, but let's spend a semester or a year in Switzerland or in Scandinavia. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the fun aspect, it also opens up a lot of opportunities.
Exactly.
Like, we can go to an internship abroad or an exchange, as you said, and and also when you have the a residence permit of Belgium, because it's in Schengen region, so you can easily go to other countries inside Europe.
Yeah, very interesting that there are not even any border checks usually. So you just like, oh, we passed to France.
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody checks anything. That's very new for me.
Same.
Yeah.
All right. So, final remarks. Any pointers? Any fun facts? Anything you want to say to our future students or people who are interested in Belgium or our program?
I would say come do the program.
Yeah, of course. I'm really satisfied with the choice I made, honestly.
For me, I had chose that the program worked for me because I had a grade average, I think, in my bachelor's of maybe 55%, which is, I think, on its own impressive to get such a low average. And when I started the program, it shows that I was far more passionate in my work, and I'm getting far higher grades. It shows that the people teaching are very good at what they're doing, are very passionate about what they're doing. There's a lot of facilities you get to work with. It's always a lot of new things that you can do, or a lot of options you can do. I think it's a very good program, actually.
So they've done a good job stimulating you guys.
Yes, it's definitely done a good job stimulating my passion for science, or my passion for photonics.
Super. How about you, Anusha? Any final remarks?
It has been a good experience overall, but I would say maybe explore the teaching and examination methods a bit before coming, because it's new. It's new for people coming from my area, especially because we have different examination methods. So it sometimes gets tougher for you.
So for you, it's also full written exams instead of
full written
4 questions,
exams. Yeah, exactly. The 4 questions sometimes gets you a little in trouble.
It rocks you. I know.
So we have full written exams. They have oral exams.
Yeah.
The anxiety so it's a little tough in the initial days, but I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
You get used to it.
Yeah.
I prefer the oral exams.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, the oral exams are better for you.
Yeah, indeed. In the beginning,
It gets a bit of getting used to.
Yes.
But then I feel like you get used to it, and then
actually, like in the first semester for lasers course, they did like a trial exam for us, and like it was in the middle of our semester, and it was actually not as stressful as I thought it would be, and all the other exams, I think it was actually better than written exam, because during the oral exam, the professor also sort of helps you in explaining in the right direction, and also in overall I think it's better than it's a better evaluation of what you know actually.
It doesn't expect you to just learn everything off by heart. It expects you to understand the material. But you don't need to know every single little formula by heart, which is something I don't enjoy doing.
Depends on the course.
Depends on the course. Ever so slightly.
Optical materials.
Actually, your optical materials was probably slightly different than mine. Although the course itself was the same. I'm sure the exams were the same.
I don't know. But But you're right. For most of the courses, they just want to make sure you have understood the content of the course.
Yeah. But anyways, in any case, it's very different with respect to what some people are used to, and it would be nice for them to look it up and see, okay, can I do this? Because some people are a bit more struggling with stress than the others. It's true that it's a better, let's say, approach to investigating somebody's knowledge. But at the same time, if you are very stressed, you could just forget everything you know. Like for me, like blank. I don't know if you've seen these goats when they were scared, like they just lay on the ground like this because they can't move anymore. Yeah, some people are like that.
Well, the professors are always incredibly kind.
Sure.
I've had professors which were where oral exams with those professors would be incredibly intimidating. It was never the case for the Ghent professors, at least in my experience. They were always very kind, and then you also just have a small little chat about other random things, maybe before or after, and it was always. I mean, I enjoyed some of the oral exams. Enjoying an exam. It's a very strange.
It's a new
combination of words.
They do try to make you feel better.
They try to make you feel comfortable.
If you've forgotten everything, you feel bad. Even at that kindness, you're like, I want to dig my grave.
But they're very understanding, the professors.
They're nice.
Did they understand that you might have had a different background and different conditions? Now you're here, as you say, like they might make you comfortable for the investigation.
Interrogation.
But very nice final remarks. Thank you guys for joining for this podcast, and I hope that people who are going to see this episode are going to enjoy it. And if they have any questions for any of the kind guys joining us today, you can leave it in the comment section or contact us directly. Thank you guys so much, and bye everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.